What's going on, everybody? I'm back again with another vlog, and today I'm in the northernmost part neighborhood in New York City, Wakefield in the Bronx, right by the 2 train line. And I'm gonna explore to see what's around here. It's mostly residential area, but I'm really curious to see what the neighborhood looks like. And it actually gets all the way to the borderline of Westchester County, Mount Vernon. So I'm probably gonna walk around the neighborhood and cross the border to Mount Vernon to see what it looks like. So I'm gonna take you guys with me, so join me. So it literally took me an hour from Lower Manhattan all the way up here. So that's how you have an idea how far it is and how big the neighborhood is. So let's see what's happening. So actually the main street here is White Plain Road, which I'm walking right here. It goes all the way up to the end of it. So I'm doing a little bit of walking around here, then I'm gonna make a detour to my left. Okay, there's a park in the other side, so let's see what furniture stores and a couple of restaurants, but I think it gets a little bit more interesting when I get around 235th. This is 225th right here. So let's see what's happening further. Made a detour over here and I'm gonna walk because there's like a park around the corner. And one thing I noticed about this neighborhood, a lot of people from the West Indies, especially Jamaica, also like Latino. I think the more I go towards Mount Vernon, the more Latino I get. So let's see what's happening in this street. Here, you know, it's fall season, the color of the trees. Pretty residential. Beautiful street, beautiful houses. And like I say, most of the neighborhoods in the North Bronx, all the way north, is like this, you know, residential. There are also neighborhoods that are much nicer than this one. But so far, it's pretty good. Like I say, this is my first time around here, so bear with me. Just exploring everything. And this is like randomly that I pick up this neighborhood. I've heard about it. I never thought I was gonna visit it, but I said, you know what? I got nothing to do, let me just come here and see what's happening. And this is a nice looking street down the hills. And like I say, one thing about the Bronx, there's literally hills everywhere you go, so good cardio. But I like the trees with the tree. I like the street with the trees. So the park is like one more block down. So I'm gonna see what it looks like. So this is another street, and where you see all the trees is a little park, Shoelace Park. And there should be like a river on the other side. Surprised to see a lot of traffic jam happening around here. Got a couple of residential buildings around, so pretty interesting. This is the little park here. They even have like a bike lane, they got a playground. Nothing crazy, but then you can see the residential area of the neighborhood. And it's all the way down the hill, and I think there should be, you can't really see it because of the trees, but there should be like a river on the other side. So pretty interesting parking for you to do a little bit of exercise or just chill for a bit. At the same time, you can appreciate the nature. Fall season is beautiful, but the bad thing is all the leaves that fall down, especially if you live like in the street and you have a car, you're gonna see a car fill up with the trees, with the leaves if you park underneath, but still really beautiful to admire. But I'm gonna keep exploring more the neighborhood, probably walk to 235th and see what's happening over there. So a nice little walk, but let's focus deep in the neighborhood of Wakefield here in Bronx. So far I'm liking what I'm seeing, you know? Nothing wrong with the neighborhood. So another interesting thing is that the neighborhood, Woodlawn Heights, which is an Irish neighborhood that I filmed, I think like a year ago, it's not far from here. It's actually on my left side, right across where the trees are. A hidden gem in the Bronx, and actually I took the Metro North, but over here you could take the subway train. My plan was to take the subway train back to Manhattan, but due to the way how far it is, I'm like, you know what, let me just take the Metro North. But here you see the traffic jam, where you see the light, 235th, so if you make a left, you're gonna end up in that Irish neighborhood. But like I said, I'm gonna focus on Wakefield. I think the further I go, the nicer the neighborhood gets. And so far, I like this area over here with all the vegetation, all the trees. It's pretty beautiful. Woodlawn Heights is behind me, and this is Wakefield. So if you guys have a chance, definitely check out the neighborhood behind me. It's like a little hidden gem in the Bronx. And then the thing about this area over here is that Yonkers is not far, then Mount Vernon is not far. So we're literally like at the top of New York City, because after this is Westchester County. Look how I'm going all the way up the hill. So. But it starts getting nicer, like it's pretty much more interesting over here. And they got a deli and they sell a lot of stuff in the inside. So pretty nice. Nail salon, so you know, you find a little bit of everything. Pharmacy. And then when you see the green building in the middle, that's actually the 2 subway line. Then you go a little further and it's actually the last stop in the 2 line. And then if you walk a few blocks over, that's the end of New York City, so pretty interesting. So actually I made a mistake, it's not 235th, it's actually 233rd. You can see it keeps going uphill. But I'm probably gonna do a couple more blocks over here and then merge to 236 to see what can I find. You can see under the subway they sell the fresh vegetables. So yeah, a lot of shops. You can rent the scooters here, the bird scooters. It's like a meat market right here. Also, you can rent like electric bikes, Vio. So that's something that you see in the Bronx, like you can rent a scooter or an e-bike. And I can actually smell the meat from the meat market. So something also pretty interesting about New York City, you get all types of smells. But yeah, so I took a little merge around this random street to see what it looks like besides the main streets, because I know it turns a little bit more residential. And I'm probably gonna walk towards the end of the Bronx and it's gonna border with Mount Vernon. Then I will turn back and make it to White Plains Road and walk all the way till the end of New York City. But this is where you get in a regular street. Pretty much houses, you know, residential, the vegetation, the trees, all together. I'm gonna keep digging deeper to see what can I find. And as I'm walking around here, I just saw a bus, a public transportation bus, and it's a bus from Westchester County, so that's how you know we're literally within a couple of blocks outside of New York City. Then ahead of me you can see, pretty interesting, you know, like residential, nice structure of buildings, of houses. Then I'm gonna merge to my left in this street and try to make it a 236 and walk all the way till the end of the Bronx. This is actually Bronxwood Avenue, and pretty nice avenue. Nice looking houses. Not too much cars around, you know. Pretty much like you would get like in a suburb. Across the street. And I can see it's pretty easy to get a parking too. Like here you can park your car, street parking. Because I know a lot of places in New York City, especially in the Bronx, it's really hard to find a parking if you own a car. But so far, you know, pretty nice, pretty residential. So you just gotta go out the beaten path. One thing about these neighborhoods here in the north side of the Bronx versus the South Bronx is that you don't see really much people walking around because it's residential. Like only me and I saw another guy walking. If you go in the South Bronx, this would be like jam-packed. Look at this street. Walking in the street so you can have an idea what the houses are like. Climb up. It's like in the hill. Has like a duplex style of houses, like probably multi-family homes. Yeah, but this is really nice. And going pretty well with the autumn season. And you even got a driveway. It's like I always say, like the further you go out in the Bronx, the better it gets. That's the only bad thing, like if you work in the city, it's a little bit of a far commute. But still pretty nice to explore, you know. And then I'm gonna walk near under the tunnel of trees. But yeah, I'm loving the houses over here, it's beautiful. And as I'm walking the streets of the neighborhood, I notice a lot of Jamaican restaurants, a lot of Jamaican spots. So like I say, it's probably a lot of West Indies living here. Look at the streets, how they look like. Pretty beautiful, you know, with all the trees and the houses. And like my favorite season is the fall, so with all the colors of the trees, it gives it like a nice twist and a nice look to the neighborhood. And over here, I'm passing by, I'm gonna sure it's like a high school and academy. Got like a nice park. And 1 block ahead of me is the end of New York City, Mount Vernon. So I'm gonna show you what's happening ahead. And then I'm gonna turn back to New York City and walk White Plains Road and show you the other ending of the borough of the Bronx. And this is a borderline over here where I'm walking right now. It's the Bronx, New York City, but then in my right hand is Mount Vernon, Westchester County. So this is actually another district Another city, New York City right here. There where those houses are. Mount Vernon, Westchester County. So pretty interesting, but it looks literally the same, you know, the houses, everything. But like I said before, I'm a fan of borders. I already did a video in Woodlawn Heights and Riverdale where I crossed the borderline to Yonkers, and I'm doing it with this one, crossing to Mount Vernon. But now I'm gonna walk deep back in Wakefield and make it to the main street where the subway line is and cross to the other side of the border. So now I'm just gonna walk it to Westchester Avenue until it gets to 245 where the subway line is, the end of the 2 line, and then I'm gonna walk it until I reach the other side of the border with the Bronx and Westchester County. Here you have an idea what I'm talking about. You see the sun starting to fall down because in the fall season it gets dark early. The sun is really beautiful, you know, surrounded by this residential area and the houses. So pretty cool. This is 241st Street and the subway train. That's the last stop. So I'm gonna make my right, and within a couple of blocks to be the ending of the Bronx Wakefield neighborhood, and then it starts Westchester County. So I'm gonna see, I think the way how you know it's a borderline is when you see the division of the street. And also like this street over here is White Plains Road, but when you're in the Westchester County it's West first. And also you notice it by the business, they got like the cell phone numbers, so you know the area code. So this is White Plains Road. And I think probably in the corner should be the ending of New York City, the northernmost section of New York City. So I'm just gonna look at the map on my cell phone just to be sure. So just so you have an idea, where you see the blue, it's actually me. I'm not sure if you can see it clearly on the camera, but you can see the red line in the road. So that's the division of the neighborhood. So within 1, 2, 3 more blocks should be the ending of the Bronx. As you can see the border ahead of me, the way how the road is paved, that's how I know it's the border of another city. I can see it like literally from right here. So this is like the ending, the northern part of New York City, the Bronx. And then where you see like this red building over here, that should be like the beginning of Westchester County, like Mount Vernon. So literally over here where you see this car, this truck park, this should be like the borderline. You can see the division of the road. So the Bronx over here in Westchester County, and let me show you the map. You see? So actually it looks like yeah. So you have an idea what it looks like. Then another way you know, where you see that over there, the tire shop, you cannot really see it clear, but the phone number is 914, so that's the area code of Westchester County. And then over here we got this business, La Ruse 718, that area code is from New York City, around here in the Bronx. So that's, you know, a little bit of a mystery, but this is kind of like the borderline right here. But I'm pretty sure that once I pass where this e-bike is, once I pass this e-bike, you can see the division of the road. Now I'm officially in Mount Vernon in Westchester County. So bye-bye New York City right behind me. Hello Westchester County, which is another county here in the state of New York. Showing you a little bit of this part of Mount Vernon. I've been to Mount Vernon because one of my best friends, he has a house. And it's actually a nice area, but over here is a little different when it borders with the Bronx, but you got a car wash, you see what's going on, so not much different than what it looks like in New York City. But pretty interesting, and I'm glad that I made it here to Wakefield and explore the neighborhood. So that was the end of my video, exploring Wakefield in the Bronx, New York City. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Be safe out there, everybody. God bless y'all, and peace.